Tim Kitzrow, welcome to the Game Informer Show, sir.
Nice to be on board from downtown Chicago. Boom shakalaka.
I love that you just get out of the gate with exactly what everybody wants to hear. I mean, it's been how many years of you just screaming boom shakalaka over and over and over again?
Yeah, it's actually coming up. This is the 25th anniversary, so this is a big year. A lot of excitement from NBA Jam fans. There's been a lot of action on Twitter. There's a book coming out, NBA Jam the book. There's a website devoted to the NBA Jam fans, and there's an Insert Coin doc. It's a great documentary being done about kind of the rise and fall of Midway games. You know, the Mortal Kombat, Blitz, Jam, Smash TV, all the great games, and where all the great designers really came from. This was the melting pot. This is like the Microsoft garage of video games back in the day.
Yeah. So, Tim, what is your actual role with NBA Jam? How did you get brought on board? Can you just describe the environment where you recorded the VO for NBA Jam?
Yeah, there's a big factory in California here in Chicago that was making all the coin-op games for years and years, the early pinball games. And I had a friend who was John Hay, responsible for putting the music in the game, the producer. And back in those days, he wrote the script. You'd put the music in, you'd actually record, you'd do everything. And now at EA Sports, you've got at least 7-8 guys doing that gig. So it was this big factory. You walk in, there'd be hundreds of pinball games being put together, all the bells and lights going off. Then you walk through this dirty little cafeteria with a couple pinball games, video games, and back into this dark little nasty corridor. And there was basically a meat refrigerator recording booth locker. You know, it's like you get in it. It was like 5 feet wide, 4 feet wide. And I was sitting in that old-fashioned recording booth with John Hay outside the window. It looked like I was in the gas chamber. And I had my Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan poster on the wall for a little added inspiration. And just shout and yell like a madman.
So maybe it's just I didn't play enough games in that era, but I'm really thinking, like, in terms of like personality coming through VO, it was not that common in the 16-bit era. So were there discussions of like, man, we really want to ham it up, with respect to your acting talents, we really want to ham it up for the VO here to really stand out in this field?
Yeah, we knew that this was the comic book come to life, the superhero version of the NBA, and it was also going to be the street crack. The coins going in for every quarter. We had to have this hype, and I was the carnival barker to bring those people around the arcade. And if you've ever been in Dave & Buster's or any arcade lately, when they have the sound down, and I remember in the early days, some of the bars and arcades didn't realize, because as you said, there wasn't a lot of speech in games, and it was just a lot of noise. And if you couldn't hear the game, it had a totally different presence. When you start to hear the game mode, playing, and hearing boom shakalaka, he's on fire, it drew you in, And sometimes I would go to arcades. I'd say, hey man, turn that up a little bit. He goes, why? I go, because I'm the dude.
I'm the dude. All right. So those lines in particular, everything was written out. Was there any improvising back in the day?
Yeah, there was always something. And with the first NBA Jam, though, if you listen to it, it's stock lines from that era. We didn't throw in a whole lot. NFL Blitz is where we really started to improvise a lot more. There was a lot more writing because the technology allowed us to put more in the game. Each year it was just exponentially, the technology was allowing us to do more and more and more. I have to ask John Hay, but that original script was really small and condensed, except for the player names and the team names. I said I could probably, while being on hold for the DMV or something, I could do all the lines. Puts up a brick, can't buy a bucket, no good, get that shot out of here, from downtown, he's on fire, no good, at the buzzer, the nail in the coffin, and, a couple others. So, and he plays his greatest hits.
So what's the weirdest place NBA Jam has come up for you? Like, just journeying with this thing for 25 years, how frequently does it come up? And what's the strangest place that's ever come up in your life?
Well, hearing it in referencing commercials, the boom shakalaka had taken on a life of its own. And recently, Jay-Z's daughter had a song where she rapped on her dad's song and did a big boom shakalaka chorus, and it was all over the internet. And I got called by TMZ. I'm asleep, 9 in the morning, like, well, we just read this article in Sports Illustrated about NBA Jam, and you're the guy who originated boom shakalaka. So we want to see, what do you think about Blue Ivy's boom shakalaka? Like, I don't know. Like, why do you think she said it? Because it's fun to say. Boom shakalaka. How is that fun to say?
What does it mean?
To get woken up being told that Jay-Z's daughter, who's 5, is singing Boom Shakalaka. What do I think? I think I want to get back to bed.
Is this when you meditate? Is that your key word, boom shakalaka? Do you ever just think about what the hell does it mean? What is the etymology of boom shakalaka?
Well, I've never found the exact etymology, but the story is that Sly and the Family Stone and I Want to Take You Higher, they were singing Boo Shakalaka in that chorus. And they use that in Stripes, too. Bill Murray, like, he's got them all marching, like, Boo Shakalaka Laka, Boo Shakalaka. So the dude down the hall from John Hay, and I'm sorry I forget his name right now, but it's in the Sports Illustrated article. He goes, hey, tell Tim to say Boom Shakalaka. John goes, say Boom Shakalaka. Me, Boom Shakalaka. That was it, bro. That was
so
it.
Simple.
But it's great because it's the perfect description. You know, the ball hit, boom, and the rim rattles, shakalaka.
It's an onomatopoeia. Accidental.
Onomatopoeia.
Yes, exactly.
Word out of my mouth.
So you talk about, walking through all these pinball games to get to the recording booth. You also did the voice, correct me if I'm wrong, for Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone pinball game?
This is a simple story about a man on a video game host channel. He's about to embark upon a dream. Yeah, I did that. I just recently did it for Zynga games too, but
Really?
case in point, one Tim Kitzrow living in a world of fantasy in an arcade. Boom shakalaka going off inside his head. He can't escape it. His only choice is the Twilight Zone.
That's amazing. Did you, I don't know, do you see that ad in the Yellow Pages? Like, where the hell do you come across the opportunity to impersonate Rod Serling? Had you been working your way up to that point of doing the pinball?
I kind of became the one of the house guys at Midway Games in Williams, pinball. I was doing a little weekend rock and roll warrior band. I played drums, and so that one guy, John and Chris Granner, who did a lot of the great games, they said, hey, come on in, can you do Mr. Howell? We're doing a Gilligan's Isle, and I went, well, maybe we could bribe Kona Gilligan. Ooh, lovely. And we're off to the races, and I did Popeye next, and then they said, can you do Rod Serling? And so, just worked at it a little bit. I've, got an acting background, pretty good ear, so just fun playing. I was getting paid to play, that was all.
Yeah, it must have been tough to down so many cigarettes, though, while recording those Rod Serling lines. That's really a tough gig, yeah. So, these days, you're working on Mutant Football League. How did this come about?
Well, this is real exciting because you think of my career, Jam, Blitz, Slugfest, NHL hits, Wayne Gretzky hockey, all these big, fast, hard-hitting titles. And then I was kind of left in the dust because the sim games, all the sports sim games, that Madden took over, and these detailed 3-hour laborious, games of I had, first of all, honestly, no interest in that kind of if I want that much, I'll go to the game, I'll play the game, but I couldn't sit in front of a computer. The adrenaline rush, as I said, the crack of the arcade game was kind of gone. And Michael Mendheim, who's the original designer for Mutant League Football back in the day, very successful game, had a Saturday morning TV show, cartoon characters, trading cards. He's in Chicago. He approached me. He's doing, this homage to one of the great arcade titles. And the great thing is NFL Blitz, which took the heart out of it with the last version with EA Sports, because the NFL wanted to get rid of all the hard hits. They wanted to get rid of all that stuff that people love to do, jump on the player after he is down. So it kind of softened it up.
Yeah.
And I did the remake in 2012. Still a great game. But here we are, no license, no NFL person breathing down our neck saying what we can and can't do. And this game is the most crazy, insane, fun, over-the-top ride you will ever go on. And it will bring you back to that arcade time where there's that energy and there's humor. And it has 4-player, that's the way these games were meant to be played.
Yeah.
When you were back in the day, you went to the arcade and you were yelling and screaming, high-fiving, putting your quarters on. To have a game like that again. So basically, you're playing great football. It's like NFL Blitz meets, I said, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a bloody mess and fun football rush. But you get to play with other people. And you have, and here he is, Bob Shaney in the shotgun formation. He actually has a shotgun. He just blew that guy's head off. Love to see that, Bricks. Yeah, I do too. So it's crazy. It's kind of like the Three Stooges meets me during NFL Blitz. We got these great, routines. the writing for these games that we couldn't do back in the day to add more and more content. And
Yeah.
I remember Slugfest, the humor that I was able to do entire dialogues and lots of improv, and this has tons of that in it. So,
man.
it's an amazing game. It's out on PC right now on Steam, and then early January we're going to line it up for the Super Bowl. So we're going to have it out January 18th, Xbox and PS4.
That's perfect. Are you watching a lot of Twitch streams, people playing it on Steam then, just to hear reactions?
Right now it's on Xbox Preview, Xbox Live Preview, so you can check it out there. And we had some really fun stuff. We did some more online stuff, Michael and I, in real time, players playing and talking to them. And kids are going nuts. And to see people, the reaction of people, they can't believe you're pulling out a chainsaw and running down the field and cutting people in half. And it's really fun to play on the actual NFL, like Bomb Shady. All the names are just so clever. It's like, and he just took a sack to the lunch pail, Bricks. Oh, that gives a new meaning to the word sack. Well, everybody knows that Bomb Shady like to play with soft balls. He'll be playing with deflated balls the rest of his career. Be careful what you wish for, Bomb. You can say that again. So, yeah, a lot of fun, man. Really. And to have 25 years of Jam coming up, coinciding with the release of my first brand new title in a way, and arcade style, which is what my bread and butter is. There's not a lot out there for me, as I said, in that sim world.
Right.
Although I could impersonate those play-by-play guys, real serious guys, but that's not my gig.
It sucks. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Totally. Has anybody ever reached out to you about doing a Dota voice pack?
I have, and actually people have been talking to me about that online. So there's a lot of stuff I think that with this game I'm getting a lot of interviews, a lot of people talking, and realizing after 25 years how many fans there are out there. And I just started to get more active on Twitter lately. It's kind of missed that boat a few years ago. So connected with a lot of people. I went out to the NBA Summer League this year, met a lot of former NBA players, young players, the starters. They're big fans. This all kind of started with Sports Illustrated doing a 8-page expose this past summer on NBA Jam. It was just fantastic. So they interviewed people at the NBA, former players. I mean, Shaquille was the biggest fan in the world. He used to have arcades delivered to his hotel room often when he was on the road. He said they'd stay up all night and make a ton of money, just gambling, playing NBA Jam. So it's fun to meet with like Vlade Divac, Vince Carter at the Summer League and find out that they're, big fans. And of course they were in various versions. It's funny how that generation's getting older and now they are immortalized in NBA Jam. And I'm hoping to do some sort of a celebration in Vegas Summer League next year for the 25th anniversary. Get former players, get competition, have private, collectors bring in their NBA Jam cabinets, have some music and a lot of merchandise. And I'm working on a sneaker to be unveiled for the 25th anniversary too.
Jesus Christ, Tim, you're a busy guy.
Try to keep busy, but this thing has been a ride that you can have a hit if you're a musician like Can't Get No Satisfaction. The Stones. It was played on the jukebox. The kids put their quarters in it. Who would think? And they never thought that 25 years later they'd still be singing Satisfaction. Play Satisfaction. It's the same way for Boom Shakalaka. The kids from that generation, all their quarters went to the jukebox, and that was the jukebox called NBA Jam. And I'm the greatest hit, Boom Shakalaka.
It's beautiful, man. Well, again, Mutant Football League coming out in January on consoles, out on Steam right now. Tim Kutzrow, thank you so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
It's great to spend time with you. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching this excerpt from the Game Informer Show podcast. You can subscribe to the audio version and listen to new episodes airing every Thursday. We cover big games on the horizon, games that we've just reviewed. We have long-form developer interviews, a lot of fun stuff. So check it out every Thursday.